Welcome, and thank you for taking the time to read this thoughtful piece. What I'm about to share explores a fascinating and often debated aspect of Albert Einstein's life, his thoughts on God and religion. Albert Einstein once wrote a letter in which he reflected on his views about God and the universe. He requested that the letter be preserved until humanity could better understand what he had to say. This idea of preserving something valuable until it could be properly comprehended shows the depth of his thoughts. Over 50 years after it was written, this letter was sold at auction for over $3 million. The price was likely due to both the significant content of the letter and the continued fascination with Einstein's legacy. Einstein's views on God have been widely discussed and often misunderstood. Was he a believer, or was he an atheist? In truth, Einstein's views on religion were complex and not easily defined. He was a scientist, a German Jew, and the man behind the theory of relativity. His famous statement, "God doesn't play dice," often sparks curiosity. What exactly did he mean by this? The letter Einstein wrote about God was sent just before his death in 1954. It was in response to philosopher Eric Gutkind's book, Choose Life, in which Gutkind tried to support the teachings of the Old Testament with scientific reasoning. For many years, Einstein's views on religion were quite nuanced. He didn't neatly fit into the categories of atheist or religious believer. In fact, his response to Gutkind shows just how complicated his perspective was. In 1930, Einstein said something very important in an interview. "I am not an atheist." He went on to clarify that he preferred to describe himself as a pantheist, meaning that he believed in a divine order found in nature, but not in a personal, interventionist God. As science progressed, society began to focus more on the rationality of the universe rather than the wisdom of nature. Einstein's views on this were clear. He believed that the human mind, no matter how brilliant, could not fully grasp the workings of the cosmos. He once used an analogy to explain this. He compared the human mind to a child entering a vast library filled with books written in many languages. The child knows that someone must have written the books, but does not understand who or how. The child can see the order in the books, but they can't fully comprehend the meaning or the structure. Einstein believed that the universe was similar. Though we might sense the order and beauty of the cosmos, we can never fully understand the principles behind it. The force that guides the stars is beyond our limited comprehension. In another well-known quote, Einstein said, "Science without religion is lame. Religion without science is blind." This statement has been used by both religious people and atheists to support their views, but it's important to understand what Einstein meant. In his letter to Gutkind, Einstein was more direct about his beliefs. He acknowledged that many global religions are rooted in primitive ideas, and he regarded the Bible as a collection of ancient myths. For Einstein, the idea of God as a personal, historical figure, an all-powerful ruler, was not a reasonable belief. Einstein did not believe in a bearded man watching over humanity. He didn't think that we were accountable to God in the way many religions suggest. However, he recognized that cause and effect shaped all of life's events. In his words, people, vegetables, or cosmic dust, we all perform a dance to an incomprehensible melody played from a distance by an invisible musician. This poetic idea captured his belief that the universe operates according to an order that we cannot fully understand, but that we are all part of it. Despite not subscribing to the idea of God as most people think of him, Einstein did hold a form of belief in a higher power. His biographer, Ronald W. Clark, writes that Einstein saw God not as a personal deity who intervenes in human affairs, but as the harmonious order of the universe itself. As Einstein's thoughts on religion evolved, he embraced a form of agnosticism, acknowledging that there are aspects of the universe beyond human understanding. After Einstein's death, some of his followers even claimed that he had created a cosmic religion. While Einstein might have found such claims amusing, they reflect the idea that his understanding of the divine was deeply connected to the laws of nature, rather than any religious institution or dogma. He spent his final years trying to understand the fundamental nature of God, believing that the order of the universe was the key to understanding divinity. In a piece written for the New York Times shortly before his death, Einstein said, "The geniuses of all times are characterized by a religious feeling that does not recognize any church dogmas and does not create a God in the image and likeness of man." This idea sheds light on why many throughout history, Einstein included, who were deeply spiritual, were often seen as heretics or even atheists by their contemporaries. Max Yammer, a close friend of Einstein, sums up his thoughts on religion. "There is still something unexplainable, strange and unfathomable behind all the patterns that are readily apparent. My faith is this: I consider myself to be quite religious in this way." Einstein's religious views, while not aligned with traditional belief systems, were rooted in a deep sense of awe and respect for the mysteries of the universe. Every scientist recognizes that nature operates according to principles far beyond human comprehension, guided by an intellect much greater than our own. The universe is governed by immutable laws, not wishful thinking or superstition. For me, the idea of God is closely tied to a belief in this higher, more advanced intelligence. This view implies that Einstein did not believe in a traditional concept of God, one who listens to prayers and alters the course of history. Instead, he thought of the universe as being created by a mind or spirit, operating through unchangeable laws. His belief was shaped by his admiration for Benedict Spinoza, the 17th century Dutch philosopher. Spinoza's ideas, which were revolutionary during a time of intellectual darkness, resonated with Einstein. These ideas suggested that the universe is not only governed by laws, but is a living, thinking entity, perfect in its design. In the beginning, Einstein rejected the idea that the universe had a creator, arguing that since the cosmos had no clear origin, there was no reason to believe that God had created it. But as he developed his theory of relativity, Einstein reconsidered this stance. He acknowledged that the universe cannot be static and unchanging as once thought, and must have had a beginning. This realization suggested that the cosmos was indeed created by some higher intelligence. In doing so, Einstein subtly supported certain aspects of the Christian belief that the world was created by God. At the same time, he validated the existence of timeless, fundamental principles that continue to govern the universe. For Einstein, the role of physical science was to uncover and understand these principles and apply them to improve human life. He was deeply curious about the origin of the universe. How and why was the cosmos created? These questions, however, remain unanswered. Einstein acknowledged that some fundamental questions, like what existed before the universe, might never be fully answered. Can something truly be created from nothing? Einstein was troubled by these mysteries. He felt that the universe was created by a higher power. Perhaps this belief led him to see human existence as being under the guidance of an intelligent force. Whatever name humanity gives to this force is ultimately irrelevant, according to Einstein. We are all part of the cosmos, part of eternity itself. Though he rejected the idea of an individual's immortality after death, Einstein did allow for the notion that our spirits are eternal within the cosmos. He expressed this sense of unity with the universe, even after the death of his friend Michel Besso, an Italian engineer. In a letter to his wife, he wrote, "It doesn't matter if he leaves this strange planet a bit before me. The distinction between the past, present, and future only seems like an illusion to us, the committed scientists. Einstein believed there is a profound force in the universe that is rooted in human nature. Despite his skepticism towards religion, he held that this force could be understood through logic and reason, not blind faith or fear of death. He often spoke about love as the force that truly governs the universe. In a letter to his daughter, he explained that love is the most powerful force because it transcends selfishness and amplifies humanity's best qualities. It is through love that we can understand the purpose of our existence and the universe itself. Unfortunately, fear has caused humanity to ignore this force for far too long. Einstein believed that love holds the key to healing the world. He argued that the survival of our civilization in the face of global crises could depend on our ability to harness the power of love. The question many people ask, how could God allow this, seemed to him to miss the point. God gave humanity freedom, but not without the responsibility to choose wisely. It is our mistakes, not divine abandonment, that lead to suffering. Einstein believed that we each carry an immense capacity for love within us. If we could unleash this power, it could overcome the forces of greed, hatred, and division that are destroying our world. He pondered how long it would take for civilization to fully realize and harness this power. Even as one of the greatest minds in history, Einstein struggled to answer this question. He noted that society had yet to create what he called a love bomb, a force of compassion and unity powerful enough to address global problems. The solution, according to Einstein, lies in collective action. Only by working together can we create a logical, harmonious global order. The destructive forces of greed and isolation can be defeated by positive energy, by the love that is the foundation of our very existence. For Einstein, love was not just an emotional response, but the key to understanding the universe. It was through love that humanity could rise above its divisions and create a future of peace and cooperation. The foundation of life, for him, was love, and it was through the cultivation of this power that the world could be saved. Thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support means so much. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.